All right, what's going on, everyone? We got a Radiant stream today. Yeah, I don't know how else to say it other than Radiant is kind of my new favorite manga. Not my number one, um, but it I had like the Soul Eater experience. When I read Soul Eater, I was like, yeah, I'm probably gonna like it. And then like by the time I got to the what's it called, like the school invasion arc with Medusa, I was like, oh yeah, this is instantly like I'm all about Soul Eater now. Like Soul Eater is my shit, and that's how I feel about Radiant right now. I love Seth, I love Melly, Doc is whatever. Um, so far, I like Okoho. Um, obviously, I love Alma. I like Grim. Grim is a surprising character. Um, so yeah, I'm loving Radiant. Love the art. Love the story so far. Um, love the characters. It's it's my jam. It's very OG coded. It's very up my alley, so to speak. Um, so yeah, Radiant fans are winning. Speaking of winning, also we got Justin in the chat. Justin, how you doing? Also we have Marvelous Angerin. How you doing? Um, so to all of my fellow Kyoshi fans out there, Shonen OG got a dub today. If you look at the channel, we got the Kyoshi video back. I think I just have to go update the monetization settings, but as of 30 minutes ago, the Ultimate Exorcist Kyoshi review is back on the channel, completely public. You know, I think I just need to put in new ads for the video. Other than that, I just got the notification that Kyoshi is back, so that was a major win for me today. And hopefully for everybody else, because everyone really liked the video and everyone's really liking Kyoshi, which is awesome. So it was a nice bit of news on my mellow Monday. Anyway, we'll give everyone a couple of minutes, and then we'll get into Radiant. But yeah, I'm loving Radiant. I really had no intention, excuse me. I really had no intention of, you know, covering it like extensively, but after volume 1, I was like, damn, I love this. This is awesome. Like, I'm so about Radiant right now. You won today and I lost yesterday. Yeah, I mean, I wanted the Eagles to win, so I guess I've won 2 days in a row. That game sucked. That Super Bowl sucked. I liked Kendrick Lamar, though. That was really cool. Yeah, Party Jams, if I haven't made it abundantly clear, Radiant is my new jam. I'm all about Radiant. I was just saying that, like, I really didn't expect to, you know, want to really cover the series. I figured it was just going to be sort of good, and then I would read it, enjoy it, and then, you know, that would be the whole story. But, man, I'm loving it. I love the characters. I love the art. I love the story so far. I love the world. So I'm all about Radiant. So yeah, it's awesome. How many chapters? I don't know how many chapters. I think it's over 140, but I think it's on volume 19 right now because they don't do chapters. Tony Valente, the creator, he releases it volume by volume. So it's on volume 19. I don't know the exact chapter. What's so good about it? It's fantasy, which I like, but it's not just fantasy like every cookie cutter fantasy series. It's like fantasy that feels like Dragon Ball, which is like wham bam. Like, I love fantasy. Love classic shonen. The characters are great. The art style is awesome. The art style, honestly, the more I sit with it, the art style reminds me sort of like no. Hold on, Party Jams. No. Let me get to that. I have read more than one volume. I've done my homework. What was I gonna say? The art style kind of reminds me of the art style in My Hero Vigilante. It kind of reminds me of the art in Vigilante. Now, granted, there is a pretty clear difference between the two, and I prefer Tony Valente's art style. But there's certain pages where I'm looking at it and I'm like, this could be a page. This could have been drawn by the artist for Vigilante. But to update you since last week, so we can go ahead and get started because we're already like 6 minutes in. So I read volume 1 and I was like, oh, whatever. I'll just pick back up where we left off. But I liked volume 1 so much. I was like, let me keep reading. And then I kept reading. So like 2 or 3 volumes in, I'd say by the time I was like at the end of volume 2 or getting into volume 3, I was like, yeah, no, I need to read this whole series. So I have read 5 volumes. The goal for today is to read volume 6 for the stream, and then read up through about volume 10 or 11, and then see how I feel and potentially do some sort of review or discussion video for the series, but it will see. The color pages are so vibrant. Yeah, I can't say for certain, but I'm almost certain that Tony Valente is like completely digital for this manga. I finished Rumbletown. Yes, I have. I am just in the I don't know what the arc is called, but the Sorcerer Knights. He just met Okoho, or however you say her name, Okoho. We can kind of talk about how I'm feeling at the end of the stream, but I would like to try and at least read most of volume 6. But let me just read a few more comments and then we'll get started. Oh, you said, Party James, you said you've seen more comparisons to Mashima. Yeah, it feels a lot like Mashima. Like, it's very classic. Oh, excuse me, I hit the mic. Tony Valente draws in like a classic shonen style. Like, it's very expressive. Cyfandir, is that how you say it? Now, he draws in like a style that feels like, you know, I wouldn't say 2000s, but like comparable to Okubo, comparable to Mashima. Like a classic shonen art style is the best way I could describe it. But the characters in Radiant kind of look like the characters in Vigilante. As far as I know, this is the only Manfra French manga I've ever seen anyone talk about. I'd love to hear some recommendations. Hear some recommendations. But as far as I know, this is the only one that people really talk about. I've been reading Radiant since it was first announced. Oh my god. I wish I was like on to Radiant back before COVID. I wish I was a part of that like pre-COVID hype. Anyway, let's get started. So last week we were kind of starting Rumbletown. I read Rumbletown, and now I'm on, apparently it's called Cyfandir, the Sorcerer Knights arc. And we like just met Okoho. Seth is having like this dream with this rune. It's drawn by a French artist. Yeah, his name's Tony Valente. Seth was having this dream with this rune. He like tried to talk to Alma about it. She had no clue. He reunited with Doc and Melly, and Melly's kind of pissed at him because she was really looking forward to like being a team, and Seth sort of just like pissed off and didn't even really say goodbye. So as he's sort of not on the outs, but he's sort of having a fight with Melly, I guess. As that's happening, he's forming a friendship with Okaho, but something's going on with Okaho because one of the Sorcerer Knights seems to have cast a spell on her, and now he found the rune, but he is in some sort of trap where now he's appearing as a nemesis. So we're going to find out what's going on there. I can see why they would remind you of Vigilante. Both quirks and infection gives a good reason. It's not so much the substance as it is like the style. The style of Radiant is like slightly similar. It's like similar enough that I think of Vigilante, but not so similar that I would say it's like a direct influence. There's just similarities. On that note, let's get started. We'll go to volume 6, which brings us to chapter 37, I believe. I think what I'll do is I'll read volume 10 or 11 and then take a short break, because can anyone tell me how often Tony Valente releases the volumes? Like, is it once every couple of months? Is it like 2 times a year? Like, what are we talking here? Is it just sort of out of nowhere? Because I know I'm going to be so depressed when I catch up and there's nothing to read anymore. Anyway, chapter 37. So volume 6 is, the cover is Dragonoff, who Valente does a nice job with Dragonoff. He's never really too tropey, because he's a pretty familiar trope. He's like, you know, one of the bad guys that isn't really a bad guy. So he makes the bad guys feel not so bad. We get 1 to 2 volumes a year at best. Then we wait for translations. It's painful. Yeah, that's what I kind of figured. With Radiant being so detailed, and that's relative to, like, you know, Jujutsu Kaisen or One Piece. With Radiant being so detailed, I kind of figured as much. And what does it have for page lengths? It's got, yeah, 23. Oh no, that's including all the other stuff. So it's like 19 to 20 pages a chapter, I would say, maybe a little longer. So that's right on par with like Shonen Jump. Does Tony Valente work on any other series, or is he just working on Radiant? Anyway, we're on chapter 37 if you want to follow along. The Spectrum's Fall. So they're saying there's a nemesis. Okaho is like, all right, Seth, where are you? This isn't a good time. And apparently he's also got the second suit of armor for Lulu, who's always sleeping. So, what's his name? Mordred. Mordred doesn't have his partner, and so Okaho volunteers to be Mordred's partner. There seems to be some sort of mysterious relationship between these two. Obviously, Mordred is like one of the faces of the Knights, but there seems to be more going on. Oh shit, Melly is in the Sorcerer Knights. He's doing a spin-off too. Read a chapter of it. It's based in Cyfandir. Don't start yet as it takes place after this arc. Yeah, that's what I kind of figured. Especially with the spin-off and, you know, the upload rate of Radiant, I would probably wait to read that until after I caught up, because that would be like my comfort manga. That would be like my Radiant nicotine patches to get me through. So Seth is stuck in this trap with this nemesis. He found this guy who apparently knows either his brother or the brother that he hasn't met yet. And that guy sort of pissed off, and now he's stuck in this trap. And then we cut to Grim. What predicament have you gotten yourself into? So it seems like everyone is sort of coming together now. Okaho is leading Millie. The Inquisitors are showing up with Dragonoff. Grim is on the scene. Seth is obviously the center of attention. So it seems like all of the big players are here. So they're going through their usual battle plan. Hey, no spoilers, but the latest chapters are wild with Seth and his brothers. I mean, pre-COVID, everyone... Well, let me change what I was about to say. Pre-COVID, a ton of people were hyping up Radiant. And then COVID happened. And I think that kind of hindered the hype train a bit. But I hope Radiant kind of makes a comeback in the community. I don't know how likely that is, but maybe once it finally ends, people will start to hype it up more. So it's on chapter 147. I would imagine Valente would want to wrap it up around like chapter 230, something like that. So maybe around like 30-ish volumes. Yeah, I was going to say, I knew Seth already kind of had brothers, but to kind of confirm it for me is sort of a spoiler. No harm, no foul, but that is, I would imagine that's a pretty big spoiler. But I already kind of figured as much. So anyway, they're going through their usual battle plan, and Team Melly and Okaho is like, wait a minute, we can't attack this guy. He's a dude. Feeling more and more numb. And of course, the nemesis stabs Seth. Radiant already has like 18 volumes. It's got like 19, I'm pretty sure. People won't be interested because of the anime. Yeah, but I feel like there's plenty of manga that people are still into regardless of the anime. I mean, Uh, Blue Lock has the opposite problem. Blue Lock, the first season was apparently pretty good, and season 2 sucked, but people still really, really like Blue Lock. So it's not so much a matter of the anime, it's a matter of promotion, I guess. I'm not ready for Melly's mental state. Melly seems like she has a really interesting character arc. Melly, for no particular reason, is in my top 3 characters right now for Radiant. Possibly, like, somewhere in, like, top 3. Can somebody tell me what is the captain or major that has been partnered with Dragunov in this arc? The female character. So Seth's been attacked. He's losing too much blood. He managed to get out. Be careful. That will not be necessary. He has breathed his last breath. Oh, wait a minute. I bet, and nobody tell me for sure, Lizelette? Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's who it is. Lizelette. That's the person working with Dragunov. So the person who freaked out when they saw Seth and is in like these bandages and seemed to know one of his brothers, I am willing to bet that this is the person that Grimm is looking for. Nobody confirm it or even acknowledge it. I'm just sharing that I'm willing to bet money that this is the person Grimm is looking for. The issue is that most of the time those bad anime adaptations won't harm as much because they're already known enough as manga in Japan, but with Radiant, the anime is way more important. Yeah, that's true. But I feel like if anything, they should just kind of maybe revamp the anime, start it over. I also am not familiar with the state of the anime. Like, I don't know what's going on. I know a lot of people hate season 1 because they made a bunch of changes. One of the knights just says, by Merlin's nuts. If it was a little more iconic of a phrase, I'd be more tempted to start saying that, by Merlin's nuts. I feel like by Okaroon's balls would be a better phrase. There's nothing left. It's as if they were never there. I didn't realize it before, but it feels like there's a Fantasia link between me and Seth. That's the thing. It disappeared. That's why I even noticed it existed. So that's no bueno. So Dragunov and Lizelette come by these two sorcerer knights, and they're trying to figure out what happened. And they are confronted by Grimm, which is no bueno. They adapt the first 4 volumes into 21 episodes. So that's, what, 9 into 3? Yeah, that checks out. So Dragonoff is fighting Grim, but he doesn't seem to really want to kill him, and he seems to feel bad about fighting him in the first place because of what he did back in Rumbletown. Leogon, you shall never lay a hand on Grim. Never shall I lay a hand on Grim. Ugh. I only wanted to help and remove that shaft hurting your shoulder. So he seems to have like a secret lair that he can teleport to, sort of maybe like a pocket dimension. Grim cannot feel anything. So he has like an entire closet or refrigerator devoted to vials of blood. So he has a portal, but if he seals the portal, then he can't just pop up a new one. It's somewhat one-sided, so that means he has to walk all the way back. Oh, okay. So he has he can make a portal to his little pocket dimension, and if he doesn't close it, he can go back to where he came from. But if he closes it, then that's it, because he can only teleport to his little secret lair. That makes sense. If I really had to choose, I'd say Dragonoff is my favorite character. He's just amazing. Dragonoff seems cool. I don't know that he's my favorite yet. He's not as fleshed out as some of the other characters. So Seth he seems to be in like the mana zone that he was in before when he confronted his brother, I think. And this little eye monster thing parts up. No, 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 Piedon, is that you? So everyone on Cyfandir that has interacted with Seth suddenly gets like a sensation. So this bandaged guy is freaking out. Oh, so now Seth is in his like transformed state again with all of the dark skin. Okay, now that is a really cool cover page. Chapter 40. It's Melly and like she's got like a who Who is Elfman's sister in Fairy Tale? I forget. Not Lisana. Mira Jane. She's got like a Mira Jane hairstyle going on. That's pretty cool. What is this? Sudden surge of power. He blew the projection spell away. Where is Diabol? So I'm guessing Diabol is the bandage guy. Okay, so Diabol is the bandage man. I love it when Seth transforms. I mean, it's a pretty cool transformation. It's nothing like revolutionary, but it seems pretty cool. He is connected to the man that did this to me. So Diabol has some sort of connection to Seth's brother. And then we got the weird underwear on his beard man. I forget his name. But he seemed to have like instantly been able to cool him down, and Seth is back to normal. Oh god, what did I miss? Wait, what did I say? Party James, you said yet is the keyword. What did I say? So now Melly is tracking Seth. But the tracer is disappearing. But it takes them to the forest. A disorientation spell surrounds the entire castle. So they go to this tree. There's some sort of lizard monster. Aw, Melly's got a new friend. I'm liking the dynamic between Okaho and Melly. I like this dynamic. Now she's got a friend besides Doc and Seth. Oh, when I was talking about Dragunov not being my favorite, he has the potential. I do like his role in the story. I just feel like he's a little too, not mysterious, but like vague, I guess. Like he's got a good motivation and he's got like a clear position in the moral compass of the story. But I feel like that's all he's got so far. What are your thoughts on where the story of Radiant has reached? And also, will you check out some indie manga? I'm not opposed to checking out other manga that aren't in, say, Shonen Jump at Jump Plus. It's just, I really only tend to read the stuff that either, I find in bookstores or everyone is talking about. So if there's an indie manga, by all means, recommend it to me. I don't really go out of my way to read indie manga. And they come across a giant cat monster in these woods. So they find this giant bear forest pixie thing. The tracks have disappeared. They run into Mir, the weird beard man. I'll take you to my wife. So he has Seth. They're trying to find Seth. They don't know what's going on. What's going on? No idea. But my old flower of a wife is a very talented healer. Do you know that in the fandom, people ship Okaho and Seth? I mean, I can already kind of see it. They seem like they're the same age. They have a good dynamic. I can see that. Whoa. That is a really cool spread on... so we're on chapter 41, pages 17 and 18, I think it is. We're here. Wait here. You're magnificent today, gorgeous. Do you see anyone? No. I have to warn you, Mir is kind of crazy. Sometimes he hangs out near the stables, and they all freak out because they see this giant flower lady. My flower, we have some guests. Let's see, where are we? Fortunately, we only have a few chapters, so we'll read 3 more chapters and then we'll call it a day. What do I think of Mir's loss? I don't know, but that seems like a pretty big spoiler, so I'm going to be honest with you. If you say anything else like that, I will kick you out of the stream. Because I have a feeling you just gave me a pretty big spoiler. Nobody comment on it. It's fine. But that's like the second time now that you've kind of spoiled Radiant for me. Yeah. Idra or Idra Dryad of the Forest of Cyfandir. I like their reaction to being like, okay, please don't put us in pots. That's hilarious. She's just messing with you. My flower is as soft as spring moss. Yeah, no, I'm kind of reading it right now, so, but again, it's whatever. She goes, what's that smell? Did you go and rub yourself against those scrawny city plants again? You see my flower, he's got a weird... So they're talking about Seth, he's got a weird bubble. How many out of 10 for Radiant? I'd say at least a 7. Again, my bad, sorry about that. Yeah, it's not a big deal. It's just, you know, have some context, you know. I'm, like, just meeting Mir's wife, and you're telling me about, you know, his loss. So I can only imagine what's going to happen. So it's not a big deal, but, you know, just try and pay attention. So they're talking about Seth. He's got a weird bubble all around him. I couldn't get through. Okay, so he calls his wife Jill. That makes more sense. You're on the shamanic plane, the Cid. My brother... Okay, so Piedon was the brother he met, I'm pretty sure. Can you feel that aura? No. It all feels so tangible, as if the forest amplified everything. Maybe it also works with our abilities. And so she grabs Melly's hand and Doc's hand. So Okaho, Melly, and I would assume Doc. Yeah, Doc's right there. I see him. Force himself into the Cid plane. Oh, God. Doc is like 1,000 years old. I don't know where you are, but we heard your call and we came. All just to hear you say that you give up. Should Doc give up because he became a child again? Should I live isolated from everyone because of my fits? We've had this conversation. If anyone can understand me, it's you. You know what it's like to lose yourself. You might destroy everything you touch. I can't just go on like this thing doesn't exist. Honestly, Melly, you're aware of your infection, but can you control it? I can't. But you can. You've stopped some of my fits before. I thought I would have to face it on my own, but you showed me how wrong I was. I don't want to turn my back on you again, but I don't want to expose you to it either. So since I have to deal with it, I'm going to control that thing. I promise you. So this is a nice moment between Seth and Melly. A clear example of genuine friendship. He knows that just like him, you can wield Fantasia barehanded. And Mira's like, excuse me? So we have, what, 2 more chapters for this volume? Yeah, we have 2 more chapters. Damn, the art in this arc is awesome. So the queen and these knights are trying to fish and see if Seth's friends know anything about the spectrums. What's good, Ouji? Eden's, what's going on? Which arc am I in? Cyfandir, I think it's called. I'm on chapter 43. I'm just about to finish volume 6. And we got Yato Gami in the chat. Yato Gami, what's going on, man? Like I said, volume 6, Cyfandir. I'm going to talk about it a bit more once I finish this volume. But yeah, Radiant's an easy 7 out of 10, possibly an 8 out of 10. I'll talk about how I feel, but it's slightly one of my new favorite manga. So this new knight character shows up, Lord of Grulis. So Okaho is talking with the queen, and they actually seem to be pretty cool. So I'm not too sure who's behind the whole Spectre thing, but I like that because clearly it's a big conspiracy. I think you're in the section that has my favorite arc. Well, it's whatever section has like the introduction of the Sorcerer Knights. It keeps getting better after Rumbletown. Cyfandir is really good. I think you're going to be in love when you're past it. Yeah, Yato, you told me that it really picks up around like volume 11. So I'm going to read up through volume 10 or 11 today. And then I might take a short break after that. Yeah, it's the arc where Seth meets Okaho. So Jilly healed Seth, and in human time it was 2 years, but they're like, oh, well, time isn't linear. Oh, you misspoke and meant chapter 11. Oh, yeah, that's a big difference. That is definitely a big difference. That's okay, though. I think after this arc, I might give Radiant a break, but there's a strong chance I'll make a Radiant video. Yeah, I would say there's a noticeable difference between Rumbletown and Cyfandir. Cyfandir seems like it's off to a better start than Rumbletown, even though I really like Rumbletown. So this forest is more or less a hyperbolic time chamber. But better than the hyperbolic time chamber is they can theoretically not lose any time at all. Mir, why are you helping him? So he's talking to Jill. Little Yaga asked me to. You know, the Coven of the 13. Oh, this makes sense. This is one of those manga where I really wish hyperbolic time chambers were real, or like a time machine. Wake me up in 2045. Yeah. Somebody was telling me earlier that it only gets like 2 volumes a year at best, which is painful. Okay, so now we're back to Diabol. Diabol, why didn't you use your power as soon as he came in? Because Piodon might have noticed it. Piodon has plans for him, and if he doesn't meet his expectations... Oh. Yeah, so this kind of confirm, or it doesn't confirm, but this helps my theory that Seth is likely some sort of clone of Piodon. That's what my theory is. Oh. So Diabol is also a brother of Piodon. Just like he broke me. Huh. Interesting. Anyway, that's volume 6. It's so funny because I thought I had one more chapter. I was like, man, that would have been a good place to stop, and then that's where it stopped. So yeah, I'm in love with Radiant. It's one of the best like early arc experiences I've had. I'd say it's up there with like you know, the Mashima stories, Dragon Quest: The Adventure of Dai, One Piece, Soul Eater, it's not as good. Soul Eater is like one of the best first arcs ever. And then it like gets weird after that. Fire Force, certainly. Been fun. Ouji. Yeah, no, this is one of the best decisions I have ever made. I'm loving Radiant. I can easily see it being one of my all-time favorite stories. It's awesome. Love Seth, love Melly, you know, Doc. I can already feel that Okaho is going to be a favorite character too. And I'm really curious to see what's going on with Seth's brothers and whether he really is a Boba Fett to like Jango Fett, like I think he is. But yeah, that's going to be it. Maybe might start working on a Radiant video after tonight, but we'll see. Look out for a manga review tomorrow. There'll be 2 videos this weekend. One of them will be Dr. Stone. I don't know what the other one is yet. I have them all scheduled, but I'm kind of moving things around. Hard to find, I'm assuming, a character I don't like in this. Yeah, I mean, I really don't dislike any of the characters, which is a really great sign. Dr. Stone stream on Thursday, and at least 2 videos this week. I'd love to see Radiant videos. The agenda must grow. I can't promise doing more than like 1, but I would like to do a Radiant video. Maybe like, I don't know, maybe 1 video for every volume that comes out. But we'll see. Anyway, streams, videos, look forward to those. Anyway, thanks everybody. Great stream as always, and I look forward to seeing you soon. Peace.